Check 1, 2. Is everything okay? Good. So there was a bit of a problem. You let this streaming setup sit around long enough, and eventually you got to fix a few things. So the Blu-ray backlog is becoming less of a thing. I don't know what I'm going to do after the James Bond marathon, but, you know, we'll just proceed. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, a.k.a. MultimediaJay, 3:20 in the morning. So we'll see how many of those EU people watch in the morning, or, you know, see if people catch this after the fact. But we got some things to talk about, especially with regards to what happened earlier, and I'm keeping a very close eye on the bit rate as well, so I can see if the ISP has fixed their issues. So the modem that I have for the cable service, basically what happened was it was having sync issues. So here we are with the ISP trying to sell me gigabit service, and yet I'm having problems with my modem that I haven't seen since the DSL days. They pushed a firmware update, and I'll keep an eye on the service log to see if any more loss of sync errors show up. But there was like errors galore under regular use under the old firmware. Now it looks like the firmware is staying cleaner for longer. Unless, of course, the firmware is programmed so that it doesn't show as many ISP errors as the one that came before it. So, anyways, it has not been a good week. It has not been a good last week or so and whatnot. Pulse oximeter, get this out of the way. It has not been a good week because, so yeah, I had some blood pressure pills that magically stopped working after years of the dose working really, really well. So felt terrible, numbers went through the roof, and almost had to go to the hospital on Sunday night. So very, very wee hours of Sunday morning, actually. So very, very very disturbing. And get the drinks ready because we're going to need them for tonight's discussion here. Very, 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 very disturbing. And then, of course, doctor was like, yeah, well, let's crank up the dosage. So I've been absolutely roller coastering trying to get used to this because I've had more side effects because there's more of the medication. Every single time we've had to up the dose on this thing, it's always come with a lot of side effects because this medication's kind of known for it. So it's all a matter. But the thing is, though, I'm in a situation where I'm actually picking up things like, for example, where is it? I have a pulse oximeter off camera buried in the shadows somewhere over there. Oh yeah, it's got a lanyard on it. One of these little things that you one of those things you put your finger in at the doctor's office to get your pulse taken. So I picked up one of these so that way I can look at the effectiveness of what I try to do for exercise, because I'm in a situation where I've been trying to take it easy because of some health issues earlier in the year, but I think I'm taking it too easy. And at the same time, I've encountered a situation where cardio actually does more for me than caffeine does. So it's going to be even more of a roller coaster ride as I try to phase out caffeine and just live better in the first place, which is stuff that I've done before. I mean, I actually didn't start drinking coffee again until 2015 when I had to take that New York trip. And the only reason I ever drank coffee anytime in the last 5+ years is because, I mean, I used to not drink any coffee at all. I would go out and get some exercise for energy and just get enough sleep at night. But what got me back on caffeine was that New York trip. So there's a Wacky World of MultimediaJay in a vlog from 2015 when some business colleagues out in New York invited me to come check out their facility, and I took a big trip out there, and I had a hard time sleeping, so I had to drive back to Connecticut on only 5 hours of sleep. So I had a cup of coffee in the hotel room with those pitiful little Keurig inspired things they have in hotel rooms at Holiday Inns, and so the rest is history. Coffee, tea, decaf, been bouncing between the two, soda, but you know, I've lived enough of my life depending on caffeine to be able to do anything, and of course that was college, and even that I don't think was a good thing. Even that I don't think was a good thing. I definitely shaved years off of my life with the reckless way that I lived back in college, just trying to graduate magna cum laude and stuff along those lines. So we're in a situation where I am surprised, very surprised at how much a little cardio actually makes me feel good, a lot better than caffeine does. So it's a situation where I'm going to be backing away from streaming, and I'll probably be doing more videos so I can get up and do stuff around the house while working on YouTube stuff instead of just parking in front of a computer. Now, here's the thing. there's a lot of streamers out there. There's a lot of streamers out there, particularly on the Twitch side of things, that are talking about the mental health side of streaming. But when does anybody ever want to talk about the physical health side of streaming? That if you live your fantasy, those of you people out there who want to be a big game streamer and stuff and stream video games full time for a living, if you wound up as the next XQC, barreling away, making all kinds of money, streaming for like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, like you have all the energy in the world. If you wound up living like that, what price tag can you put on your ability to actually have energy later in life or have decent health later in life because you didn't destroy your health in your 20s? It's a very important question. I think some of these people like to put the cart before the horse when it comes to streaming. They'll talk about how they want to be a big streamer, but they won't think about what that entails. There's plenty of talk about mental health when it comes to streaming. Who wants to talk about physical health? If you live the dream of being some XQC wannabe or something like that, if you live the dream of being the next XQC or something, and you're playing video games for a living for hours and hours and hours every single day, parking in front of your computer, how are you not signing yourself up for the biggest set of health issues related to having a sit-down job? Used to be an article a long time ago. It was called "Your Office Chair is Killing You," and it referred to the various health problems that develop when you're just plain sitting for way too long and you're way too sedentary. Well, when you're a streamer and that's the way you make content on the internet, yeah, have you ever thought about that? Lots of people talk about mental health when it comes to streamers. Show me anybody anywhere who actually wants to acknowledge that there can be very real physical health problems from people who stream for too long. And you know what? Here's the biggest problem with all of this. We don't know just how deep that rabbit hole goes yet. Twitch streaming and other streaming that is mainstream, like what we have today, is incredibly young. Just like the talking heads that are basically the face of streaming these days. The Pokemanes of the world, the Asmongoulds of the world, the S-Fans of the world, the Ninjas of the world, the Shrouds of the world, the XQCs of the world. You have a bunch of people 20-something years old heading towards 30, and then you have some people coming onto the scene that have a chance to have more of their adult life as full-time streamers. So today's streamers that are coming out of high school and they're finding a way to stream for a living, or college or whatever, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, they stream for a couple of years on a platform as mature as today's Twitch or today's YouTube or something like that. It's going to take years before they're heading into their mid to late 30s, heading towards 40, before we really see what some of the long-term health effects of being a big video game streamer for years and years and years are. Don't think that success is what it looks like when it comes to streaming. You know, we may not even know what that even looks like yet because of how new this is. So very, very, very important. Very, very, very important that we realize that this is, streaming is something that we still don't, it's still the Wild West in terms of what it does to you over long periods of time. But if we look at the analog and the offline world, with sit-down jobs, being too sedentary, not getting enough exercise, and stuff like that, now multiply that by someone barreling away, grinding on Twitch for hours and hours and hours, sitting down in front of a computer. As if in the pre-streaming world, America with its obesity problem wasn't already a place where we were such professionals at sitting down. Let's take, for example, when I was growing up. When I was growing up, people wanted to go to college so they wouldn't have to work a physical job. They didn't want one of those dumb jobs. They wanted to go to college and get a degree so they could get an office job for the rest of their life or something. Well, how about we look at, the corporate making lots of money, the vision that a lot of us may have had in our heads for making lots of money in corporate America with a college degree. The thing that millennials were told was a thing that would happen if you went to college and went into all that student debt. Let's suppose everybody got that. Here's what your life would be like. You'd be up early with an alarm clock to get some coffee in you to hit the road for a, I had some professors that were like, oh, it's not bad having a 1-hour commute to work every single day as long as you're making lots of money to make up for it. Okay, so you lose 2 hours of your day to commuting, or if you want to be generous, let's say you lose an hour of your day to commuting because it's a half-hour commute. But I had professors tell me, oh, you shouldn't have a problem with a 1-hour commute. Yeah, How many of those professors were driving to that college from an hour? Of course, they all made $70,000 a year, and they had a union. So it's just, don't try to tell me that it's so amazing to have a 1-hour commute every single day and all the costs and risks associated with that. Spare me. But okay, so here's what your life is like, living the dream, as many of us millennials were told it would be before all this crap happened. You're up early to get some coffee in you to jolt you with some energy before you hit the road, and you're sitting down in your car for a half hour to an hour just to get to work. And then you get to stretch out a bit and walk to your desk, say hi to whoever's at the water cooler or the coffee machine at work, maybe eat, maybe ingest more caffeine or something, and then sit down at your desk working for who knows how long, 8-hour days, or are you on salary? You do a 9, 10, 11-hour days. Is there some big company project going on? So you're talking, you get up, you walk around your house a little, but then you're sitting in your car. Then you go to work and you're sitting at your desk. Then maybe you go to a meeting or something and you sit at the meeting table. Or maybe you go out to lunch and you sit at the restaurant. Sit. And then it all goes in the other direction when you finally get out of the office and you sit in your car driving home. And then what? You're tired from a long day's work, so you sit in front of the TV and you watch TV. Sit. How many of America's health problems are because we have become such professionals at sitting so much? And that's the pre-streaming world. That's the ideal world that the high school guidance counselors told us millennials, which was the reason why we should all go to college, we should all get into the student debt, we should all do this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's the world that we could have known. And that's before streaming. You look at the full-time streamer living the dream today, on those days when they're barreling away with the massive streams. Heck, I've heard people like S-Fan talk about it. Hey, chat, if I sound out of it, it's because I rolled out of bed and turned on the stream. Wow, you rolled out of bed and sat in front of your computer. You started streaming because it's how you make money. And you really get into GTA RP or World of Warcraft or Apex Legends or something like that. And you stream away for like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, some unhealthy amount of time, which you have spent the majority. You basically have the equivalent of a corporate sit-down job. You're just not driving anywhere. You barely do anything besides sit while you're streaming on Twitch or whatever. And, okay, chat, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Maybe you do like a couple of things before you plop down for the night, and then you get up and go back online. In some ways, I think that maybe being a big streamer would be worse than some of those sit-down jobs in corporate America that us millennials were told we'd all have if we all got ourselves some college degrees. So, very serious thing to think about. Lots of people are talking about these problems with mental health when it comes to streaming, but does anybody want to talk about the physical health side of it? And I can tell you, I want to be on the right side of history with this one. So, it's one of the big reasons why I'm not going to be a big streamer. Because I think it's probably the most unhealthy form of content creation out there. Plus, there's limits on quality because you're live. You can't edit, that sort of thing. Why would you want to be a streamer? Especially as you got older and learned more about these kinds of gotchas that are hiding behind whatever it was that got you razzle-dazzled and interested in streaming all the time. And especially in today's day and age where things can go viral on TikTok. TikTok's kind of shaking everything up because TikTok's doing to YouTube what YouTube used to do back in the day. The ability for anybody to make a video and it get views. Yeah, it's a 1-minute tops video shot on a smartphone per se. You can make TikToks on your smartphone, or you can be a rudimentary YouTuber and have video editing software that will export in 9:16 for a screen ratio. So you can turn horizontal footage that you shoot just correctly so you can crop it later into a much better looking TikTok than your average smartphone cam and become a TikTok person. If you want to get into the simplest, most straightforward form of content creation out there, streaming may sound easy because you just click go live, you don't have to edit. But you think about it, you make a bunch of TikToks, people like them, and they're always tuning in. It's more to the point. And I'll tell you what TikTok and YouTube Shorts, when YouTube Shorts is a more mature product, what the short video revolution we see today has up its sleeve is the ability for there to be a lightning round very easily of multiple creators. If you're curious about meeting new people, streaming is not how that's going to happen. Not in a million years. You want to jump on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, preferably with your phone, and start swiping. With YouTube Shorts, I know there's a sub button for YouTube, and there's actually the ability to have an end screen. So when I make YouTube Shorts, of things, there can be end screens and other stuff, so it can be a launch pad to watching more stuff on my channel. So make something, get some killer clip or something from some tech tinkering I'm doing, and then have a link to somewhere to get them started, to get someone started on a playlist or Wacky World of MultimediaJay or something. I mean, it's just too good of a thing to leave on the table. But the real thing that makes all the short video stuff good is that you can have a lightning round of creators. So if you're trying to meet new people, it's way easier to do that. Streaming, however, is the polar opposite of that. You can forget about meeting new people when you're streaming. Not on Twitch, not on YouTube, not on DLive, not on anywhere. Why? Because of how streaming works. The live nature of it means you get your best experience when you're watching live. It also means that whoever's live is tied to a time slot. So once you only need a few streamers to be able to watch streams anytime you want during the day and have all those time slots covered. It's not like YouTube where you're subscribed to a bazillion channels and get around to watching their videos. You maybe use watch later or something along those lines. Not like that at all. Let me give you an example. With just 3 streamers, Meowko, Jay Streezy, and Yugi TV, I can watch streams for most of the hours that I'm awake. Jay Streezy's bounced around a bit to different time slots, but Yugi in Korea tends to be a late night streamer, my time. And then Meowko, based out of the EU, is on the EU time slot. So when I'm getting ready to go into work during the middle of the day, she's probably doing something. So just from 3 streamers, we could drop Jay from the list and just say 2 streamers. One who's a regular in the afternoons and one I'm not around most evenings except on weekends. Maybe watch something different on weekends or something. And then late at night after I get back from work. You know, with just 2 or 3 streamers, and that's questionable, if they stream long enough, I can cover pretty much the day with just 2 or 3 streamers. So people with these delusions of grandeur about how they're all going to become big streamers, no. There needs to be another reason why you want to stream. And your streams need to have some value besides when people see them live. Take my channel, for example. Got 2 concurrents. Whoop-de-freaking-do. But here's the thing. I can go into Creator Studio right now, and I can actually look up the ideal time to go live. And you know when that time is for me? It's 12 noon to 6 p.m. So it would be better for me. It would be better for me if I went live sometime in the afternoon, but that's never going to happen. I'd rather go live in the middle of the night when it's quiet and just make it so that the streams are worth watching after the fact by having the streams be the descendant of things like the radio style shows and the vlogs that I used to do. Things where people can tune in, listen, blah, blah, blah. Mess with ads, maybe, who knows, but make them more like shows and stuff that you could listen to after the fact, and it's not much of a loss if you're not involved in the chat when it's live. Bring something to talk about, say my piece, and call it like a radio show or some kind of monologue or something. Give people something that they can listen to. Basic, yes, compared to editing something together. But the forerunners to these streams was the same way too, and people listened to those. Radio style series, I could make stuff about tech, people would listen. Could talk about, for example, I now understand the cult of Sandy Bridge, as I called it. All those gamers that were making gaming PCs with Sandy Bridges in them. I could do all that, you know, and people would listen. Yeah, podcasts are a thing on YouTube now. Thanks to YouTube Music, by the way, a graphic with sound going is a lot more mainstream than it used to be. So people aren't even making fun of me for these aren't real videos anymore, like many years ago. So it's just what you do where. You just got to pick what's going to be for what. And these streams have a purpose. The thing is, too, because this is YouTube, so-called streams on YouTube are really YouTube videos that are being recorded live. Matter of fact, a lot of the chat streamers, as I call them, not to be confused with just chatting on YouTube, just going to check something in studio real quick. Much of the chat streamers I see on YouTube, where YouTubers stream from time to time, this is basically a descendant of the video blogs that used to be so popular on this channel, or on this platform. This is basically the descendant of video blogging right here, old school vlogging. I have a webcam, I'm sitting in front of the webcam talking, and it's about whatever the heck I want to talk about. That is the classic vlog formula that now exists with live streams. And if I want to have more hangout type stuff where people are chatting and I'm talking about what they're saying, I can do that too. I don't have to mess with editors for something that's essentially, back in the vlog days, one take. I just put an intro on the beginning and end of it. And if I want to be really retro about it, make that intro in Windows Movie Maker on an old XP machine. But do you know how many times I saw people doing videos on YouTube back in those days that had some heavy metal, hard rock intro, and then you got to the video and they're sitting in front of their camera talking like this the whole time? One big long take. So, yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the thing here. All right. So where are we at on the Blu-ray backlog? Saw all the Rambos. Just went through, binge watched all of Dollhouse. There's commentary on these two, so I could probably go through on another round, and I'll do that as well. And I decided, you know, since I'm going back to 2010 Fox shows and whatnot, bring Lie to Me out of retirement and go through all the seasons, even though 2 and 3 are on DVD, and it's not going to look as good. So, you know, take the punch-up software in the in this new in the punch-up software in Cyberlink Power DVD 19, upgraded from 15 because Bohemian Rhapsody wouldn't play, required an AACS encoder update on the PC side. There's also some problems with the Rambo movies not playing well as well because of some issues specific to Blu-ray on the PC. Once again, Blu-ray on the PC is a failure compared to Blu-ray on the consoles because it's not mainstream friendly enough. It's like PC gaming. PC gaming is something where, take this out of the this thing. PC gaming is something where you can get a better experience in something, an appliance, so to speak, like a console. PC gaming is like that, but you need to do extra tinkering, and it's the extra tinkering. No, it's the extra tech tinkering. I'm trying to get this. YouTube's got me in a loop. I can't get out of my browser. There we go. I want to go back to my email. There we go. It took about 7 or 8 taps to get there. I got the phone here. I'm going to look at some things here and also get these stupid notifications off the screen. Oh, look, another thing with Vladimir Putin. Some CNN thing about something Russia's doing. Whatever. Anyways. But that's the thing. You know, Blu-ray on PC is like PC gaming. You can get a better experience because Power DVD can punch up the visuals with things like contrast filters and things along those lines to make Blu-rays look better somewhat. Kind of like punching up an old photo, basically. Making it look better if you don't have the settings already dialed in on your TV, or if you're like me and you're using it as a monitor, so you leave it in computer mode and then you try and punch things up for video playback specifically. But it requires extra tinkering. With Bohemian Rhapsody, had to upgrade in order to watch the movie because the AACS went into an endless loop trying to update the encryption key in the old 2015 software I was using. And then, of course, the Rambo movies are known for having problems specifically with glitches on PC, but they will play in a PS3. So I watched all the Rambo movies on PS3. Yeah, glad I kept that thing around. Sad, though, that Monolith loses its place, you know, as a Blu-ray player to a PC because of some screwball technical thing that is exclusive to Blu-ray on the PC. But I had that discussion years ago. Could probably have it again to kind of do an update on that. Can't decide whether I want to do a stream or a video for it, though. And by video, I mean I can actually use my streaming gear to make some videos and then edit them and throw in some things afterwards, assuming people aren't assuming that if they already hate the fact that I stream, that if I make videos with streaming gear, and if they do that, they'd be pretty, that they're not going to watch them. If they did that, they'd be pretty stupid, though. There's a lot of people doing commentary videos with streaming gear on YouTube these days. It's just part of what happens when you have these two worlds colliding and overlapping with each other. Plus, it's an uptick in production value. I actually have studio-style things like cutoffs and things. We're heading into air conditioning season at the Geek House. I can probably, as we saw last summer with the Twitch streams, I can put an air conditioner in that window. You will never hear it. I'll sound like I'm in a radio studio. So it's just the wonderful things that the noise blocking and stuff that's in OBS bone stock can do. And that's without even touching RTX audio, which I still haven't done anything with. I'm using the high-quality sound filter thingy in OBS bone stock. I haven't even touched the stuff the graphics card can do yet. All right, let's talk about the tech videos. Since the connection, we've been talking for about a half-hour recap. So, it's just the connection didn't go down, so it looks like maybe things are more stable thanks to that firmware update instead of all the sync issues and the modem complaining that the signal coming in over the coax was too hot. Even though the tech fixed that with a splitter when the service was installed. Whatever. Okay, so I have the phone open because we're looking at some emails here. All right, here's the situation with the tech videos. Here's the situation with the tech videos. We're into June. My big question is there a link between how much money a video can make for YouTube and whether or not it gets any views? That's my concern. So I think, for the tech videos specifically, I think what we'll do is we'll monetize with mid-rolls, most other stuff. But for the tech videos, Wacky World of MultimediaJay specifically, we'll leave those without mid-rolls for now. See if we can just continue down the path that these videos were already going down, where there's less people watching them because it's more nerdy niche topics and things like that. There's less people watching them, but the people that do watch are more passionate about it. They will thumbs up a lot more often. They will comment a lot more often. And assuming we don't get a bunch of tech video trolls that are going to pick apart every single thing I do at my computers, I actually have a lot of fun filming those things. But the thing is, though, I actually contacted YouTube partner support, finally had the spine to do that. Well, I should have done that a long time ago. Here's the thing. YouTube partner support, I couldn't even tell if it was a person. Clipping. Whoops. I couldn't even tell if it was a person a while back. It just seemed like one of Google's AIs doing all the level 1 support because of the way the English was in the correspondence I would get. But they've evolved from that. I was on the chat, the instant messaging service with someone going over these things. And basically going over some things related to analytics. And it did sound like a person. It didn't sound like an AI. Unless, of course, Google's improved their ability to pass a Turing test. I'd have to say this is probably a person that was working remotely, that was actually talking through chat and then picked things up through email afterwards for the rest of the support ticket. So here's the situation for anybody who might be new to the channel. For the last couple of years, there has been a very clear pattern in my analytics, and that is this. Whatever makes the most money for YouTube, the algorithms pass it around all over the place. Now, you would think that it would be based on the quality of the content and people liking it, subscribing, things like that. But this channel has been in the doldrums for years in terms of subscribers. 2 years at 3,800 subs, not making any meaningful progress in subscribers. That is pathetic. And so when you see stuff like that, you got to ask yourself why and start doing some digging, which will involve digging around through the numbers. Now, whoa, watch the streaming software here. This will involve digging around through the numbers. I keep clicking OBS by mistake. No, I want to take the channel content and make it smaller so I don't get absolutely lit up by my own browser window here. Put that down there for now. So, or better yet, just minimize it. This is Windows after all. So, the situation I've been watching for the last couple of years is that whatever makes the most money on YouTube does the best. You would think that would be based on quality of content. That the videos people liked and were passionate about and whatnot the most would actually do the best on this channel. but that has not been the case for years. There's a large amount of ad blocking among the tech video community back when the technology was newer. In today's YouTube world, though, let's face it, algorithms rule the day. One of the most damning things I've heard from anybody who works at YouTube was not through a direct, any kind of conversation I had with the support team, but through Creator Insider. When Rachel, who does a lot of eye-opening analytics videos that techies like myself can take a look at in terms of the AI and machine learning that's in play on today's YouTube. This is something that I actually have had clipped with the new YouTube clip feature for quite some time. This idea that the algorithms do not find viewers for videos, they find videos for viewers. As you use YouTube, you start out with the stuff that's popular when you use YouTube. And I can go to YouTube right now in my neutral browser, Microsoft Edge, which is programmed to blow itself away every time I close it. So it just gets wiped every single time. Just to verify that, youtube.com, here's what I'm getting, here's what's popping up on my screen. Here's the titles I have. Live, all live, life hacks, rain, music, science fiction, universe, comedies, infielders, Simon Cowell, extraterrestrial life, eating. One of the most random sets of things, comedy trailers, bakeries, building, recently uploaded is way the heck over on the side. That's without being signed in. That's with a fresh browser. Looking at music from, bossa nova music, nice milquetoast music to have for background music. There's a trailer for a movie. There's a Mr. Beast video. So you start out on YouTube with the popular stuff. Ooh, almost hit stop streaming. You start out on YouTube with the popular stuff. And then as you dig around and find more things to watch, the algorithm tailors what you get recommended based on what you've shown interest in. Makes all the sense in the world for something that a company like Google is making. It makes all the sense in the world that Google would make that creepy uncle algorithm technology. Here's the problem. How do people find out about your videos? That's interesting because you got all these Twitch commentators that are like, Twitch has no discoverability. Go make YouTube videos instead. And how are your YouTube videos going to get any views unless you play the algorithm? If you're just expressing yourself, trying to just introduce yourself to people, how are you going to do that on today's algorithm-driven YouTube? As a newbie who doesn't know anyone with a lot of views, who doesn't have famous friends or some other reason for people to know you prior to your YouTube involvement. Why should anybody watch your videos? How will they even know about your videos? You have to show interest. Maybe there'll be an algorithmic fluke. But what we've run into today is the old problem that marketers used to go nuts about back in YouTube's early days in the 2000s. And that was when YouTube first started, there were things like Diet Coke and Mentos videos, viral videos about certain things that were popular on YouTube because it was YouTube. Here's the problem, though. Marketers wanted in on the action. Corporate America wanted in on the action. And one of the ways they tried to do that was to try and find a way to manufacture a viral video. The problem is videos go viral largely because of dumb luck. So you're asking to try and find a way to manufacture something that just happens for whatever reason. There is no rhyme or reason to it. And there's people out there that have tried to act like there's some formula you got to fit. And, YouTube actually has official help articles about this stuff nowadays. How your videos can go to Creator Academy, learn this, learn that. But you'll sit there watching those videos, and you'll tinker the hell out of your videos, and you'll do metadata, you'll do whatever it takes to get nowhere. Because fundamentally, the algorithms find videos for viewers, not viewers for videos, which leaves a very important question unanswered. How do you actually get viewers to show interest in the algorithm so it starts recommending your videos? That's the issue here. People talk about Twitch not having discoverability. Under the right circumstances, YouTube will do absolutely nothing for you. That's the thing. Why should the system show your videos to anybody? Oh, it's based on the likes. It's based on the likes and the comments and the like-dislike rate. First impressions of the Sony HDR CX675 tech video. The very type of video that people think I should be making. 8 comments, 6 likes. It is very liked. It is very commented on. It has a lot of watch time. The thing that's showing me the latest upload is setting off the fireworks because this thing is something that people really, really like. And it only has 44 views after just about 2 days. 44 views. Now I can go to my blog, multimediajay.wordpress.com, and read some things verbatim. Remember, we talked about 44 views. Let's look at some older posts, because we got to go back 5 years for this stuff. TwitchTuber, blog finale. You know what? I think I wrote that at the end of 2015. Let's see. Only get views. Twitch streamers. Look at the algorithms here. No, not the algorithm. Looking at WordPress. Let's see here. $2015, make it the YouTube audio library, ad blockers, YouTuber spotlight. Why am I having a hard time searching my own blog? There we go. Gaming video hate, This looks more like it. November of 2015. See. I'm talking about gaming videos here. It's actually better to Google search these things directly. Regarding my YouTube channel, regarding gaming video hate and the price I paid for my tech videos, 2016. See here. There's an ad that's been introduced to that. Crap views, I don't know. There's an older one that's in there. Regarding my YouTube channel in 2018, etc. Well, I used to 2018. I have 3,800 subscribers, only get 30 views a video. Yeah. Versus, I remember seeing, complaining about getting less than 300 views a video. But the definition of a view has changed on YouTube over the years. These days, there are systems auditing literally everything you have on your channel. Your views, your likes, your dislikes, things like that. Even your subscribers may go all over the place because people are checking and, are they bots or something along those lines. So that's the world we live in when it comes to YouTube. The algorithm thing on YouTube is a major issue because it leaves unanswered that fundamental question of how are people going to find your videos? Except for some kind of algorithmic fluke, which is going back to the bad old days where you had people talk about essentially trying to answer the question, people in corporate America, marketers, etc., trying to answer this very important question. How do you manufacture a viral video? The answer is you don't. But here we are. Back to talking about this once again, trying to answer the question that is unanswerable. How do people even find your YouTube channel? Other than algorithmic flukes, it is back to dumb luck once again. And that's the way the system is designed. YouTube can't be letting their reputation be potentially dashed against the rocks because of misinformation. So people are looking, for example, commentary on current events. They'll get CNN in the results. They'll get target notifications. They'll get CNN in the results, or a popular vlogger, or something along those lines. So these Twitch streamers that are barfing content onto YouTube, like putting VODs on YouTube and stuff like that, don't expect channel growth from that. Expect a portion of your audience that can't watch live to watch that kind of stuff. But I've just... you see these people on Twitch, they look like they're unstoppable, and they come over to YouTube and the numbers don't look like someone who's unstoppable. Yeah, you really got to think about that. So yeah, the situation has been, I've been watching the tech videos get nowhere. while the washer and dryer video, 6-digit views and blows away everything in terms of money. So it is quite reasonable to hypothesize that maybe there's a link between the money your videos make for the platform and how friendly the algorithms are to what it is that you're doing. I mean, I've been seeing it on my channel for years. And so finally I decided to ask someone with YouTube support about it. And the response was mixed. I got a big lecture on CPMs and what CPMs are, so that was a bit of a waste. Let's go over, and that's why I got the phone here. Let's go over some of this here. So I got a lecture on CPMs. And then I was invited to send some URLs to be analyzed by a performance team as well that went over the analytics and some of the deeper stuff. Sent the washer and dryer video. They said they didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary. So I guess the question we have to ask ourselves is, and this is, but the weird part here is that as I look through these videos, as I look through these emails, there's a lot of talk about CPMs. There's a lot of talk about, well, you know, advertisers might not be, you know, buying ads at as high of a price, but that is not, and that has never been the point that I was making throughout all of this. The point that I was making to these YouTube reps is that there should be a link between the quality of your content, how much people like it, and whether the algorithms pass it around, and there isn't. The only link I ever see is money. When videos start making more money, I can expect them to do better and start getting more views in nearly all cases. The rest of the time, the exceptions to this rule, it'll be because of something like searchability. The fact that I have something that just happened to do well in a certain category to get a decent chunk of views when people searched for it, then now the algorithm is going to be more favorable to it simply because of the video's inertia. That's part of the issue with the washer video, the dryer video, the George Foreman grill video. And let me load up some analytics here. That's part of the issue with these things. But let's look at the ad blocker ratios. I can always count on whichever, the monetized playbacks versus the views. I can always count on these things. I can always count on these things to tell me a few things about whether the video gets lots of views or not. So the ratio, sort by views. Forza with no graphics card. Forza with no graphics card is very search engine friendly. So that's why I think it's kept being what it is. Because people can, anybody searching for Forza with no graphics card, what do they get for results? Give me a neutral browser so I can be Johnny Q Public again. YouTube.com. Did I win a set of search results here? Forza Horizon 4 with no graphics card. Where am I in the search results? Yeah, there you go. I'm the second search result if I go into my neutral browser and I search for Forza Horizon 4 with no graphics card, which gets switched out to Forza Horizon 4 without graphics cards. So there's a channel called RBN Hardware that is topping the search results with 68,000 views. And then my little joke video has 16,000 views. And then you go down to 579 views, 125 views. And then you have a benchmarker getting 14,000 views with running it at only 4 gigs of RAM and a 1050 Ti and an i3. So if it's a search engine thing. If you search very specifically for Forza with no graphics card, I'm close to the top of the results so people can actually see it. So in that case, the question is, I went in probably to something that, you know, people didn't have a lot of stuff going on with. I might as well, maybe I should do a stream with that or something. So, or maybe make a more, you know, a bigger video about that sort of thing. But you got something going on where people are being introduced to my channel because I was joking around with Forza with no graphics card, running it off of my Skylakes integrated graphics. And I actually mentioned it in the description preview that you get if you search for it. Let's look for My Fitness Coach. My Fitness Coach Wii. How close am I to the top of the results for that? 4.9, 10-minute gameplay. There's an emulator thing. There's something else. If you scroll a little bit, you run into the Play Some stuff I did 12 years ago that has 79,000 views. So it's not hard to find me in the search results. And that's without looking for a review of My Fitness Coach on the Wii, which is the most successful review video I've ever done 12 years ago. So Yeah, there we go. 79,000 views. I'm close to the top of the results. How about if someone's searching for a Magic Chef portable washer? I'm probably close to the top of that because of the inertia of it. CIC Beauty TV has 23 grand. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's see. I'm not finding my video. I have to do a lot, or I have to do too much scrolling. How about Magic Chef portable dryer? Let's see. Well, it's a first impressions video, so Magic Chef portable dryer. Yeah, I'm second in the search results. There's a newer video from 4 months ago that's gotten 3,000 views. And then I'm number 2 with 178 grand. Yeah, and then there's more people doing more videos. A lot of people are getting thousands of views in like 2 months. So that's the thing. Okay, so that tells me there's an element. Darn, why? One of the things about this mechanical keyboard, all the rubber things on the bottom make it sound like it's farting when I move it over. Technology, baby. So, okay, so we found a search thing there, but the thing is, yeah, it's topping search results, but how did it get there? That's the thing. How did it get there? Uglier Side George Foreman grills, da-da-da. I might do a follow-up to that or something. These appliance videos have done well for themselves. Let's see, views. This is the last 28 days. Oh, scroll to the top. There we go. Magic Chef portable dryer got 290 views last month, so now it's not getting 1,000 views a month anymore. No, but it's still very close to the tops of search results. Maybe I could do a follow-up to that or something like that, so you could see if there's some and link them together, which I did say I was going to do a couple of years ago. So, yeah, I mean, so you could have flukes with search stuff, but the thing is, put money on the screen. Estimate monetized playbacks, views, and estimate. Let's do ad revenue specifically. Estimated ad revenue. And let's go back, custom. Let's go back to May of 2016 when I first monetized the channel. Let's go to June of 2016, the first full month of monetization on the channel. 6/2/16. I'm just doing that so I can click 6/30. So 6/1/2016. I'm looking at the money. I'm going to sort by money as well. What made the most money in my first full month of monetization on the channel? This is very early on. Geek House Laundry with the Magic Chef portable dryer was number 1. Dell Optiplex 760 was number 2 with 168 monetized playbacks out of 1,100 views. Kudos to the people that didn't ad block me back then. And then there was first impressions of the Magic Chef portable dryer. So again, where's the money? Where the views are. Where are the views? Where the money is. So except for things like search engines and things along those lines, except for things like search engine results and other things along those lines. But here's the thing. How many of those subscribers that found my channel through the washer and dryer video are here for this stream? Or are they going to watch it after the fact? Or are they going to watch any of my tech videos? This is the Achilles heel of these things people say about playing search engines and playing algorithms. The people that tell you to essentially play the system to go for search ranking and stuff like that with your videos. This is the Achilles heel of it. The people that will give a video a ton of ad revenue are probably people that just want questions answered that don't really care about you. So, in my case, these are people that don't really care about you. They just want an answer to their question. As opposed to the people that have done the most in terms of super chats, Patreons, etc. Is there anyone even still left on the Patreon? I'm getting ready to deprecate the Patreon anyways and turn on channel memberships. I want more tech videos for that, though. Definitely more tech videos before we do anything. Yeah, there's one person left. Definitely want more tech video. Probably Logan. Definitely want more tech videos, though, before we proceed with that. More regular tech videos. And considering I don't want to be doing tons of streaming to not sit down in front of the computer for too long at a time, I suppose I should get to work on that. But the thing is with regards to YouTube and the discussion I had regarding this channel, they gave me a big lecture about CPMs and auction of advertising prices and things like that. What I didn't hear from the YouTube people was any discussion at all about their systems. They didn't even want to talk about that. That's the worst part about all of this. Here's the thing. The way narratives work with people is if you don't stand up and say something, people are going to piece things together on their own. That's how conspiracy theories work. That's how misinformation works. Somebody won't stand up for themselves. Somebody won't say what's happening. Somebody else decides to try and connect the dots. And so they come up with something that they cook up on their own, but it's secondhand information and someone else's speculation. They're just trying to pass it off as fact because the person who could deliver the facts isn't doing so. It is not good that YouTube, with its technological advantages over platforms like Twitch, shies away from talking about its own technology with the creator support team. So it is not a good thing that YouTube's support reps pretend that there isn't an algorithm. When I hear YouTube algorithms talked about so much that I hear the term algorithm more with regards to YouTube than with actual computer algorithms, the actual definition of the word. It's not good for YouTube to not come out and say, yeah, there's a system and here's how it works, when they actually have YouTube employees making a channel like Creator Insider talking about things that I've clipped. And I will continue using the clips feature until, of course, they dull down the information to not let too much stuff out. If we assume something like that's going to happen. So that damning phrase, the algorithms do not find viewers for videos, they find videos for viewers. So how do you even introduce yourself to a new audience? How do you get anywhere on this platform other than dumb luck? When there's so much of algorithmic stuff in the middle, basically determining via computer fiat whether your channel gets anywhere or not, even the subscription system. I'm very happy to report that after weeks of having my personal Google account tied in with, I'm very happy that, let's see, what am I at? Am I going over 100 beats a minute yet with all this yelling? I'm very happy to report that while this is filling in. 79 beats a minute. I'm pretty relaxed for a streamer, for streaming. Better than it was a week ago, let me tell you that. But this whole thing with this, this thing with the whatever. Dude, you're not doing a good enough job covering up losing your train of thought. So this YouTube thing, this whole YouTube thing and blah 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 blah. Let's rewind a bit. It's not good that YouTube doesn't want to talk about the technology. And it's not good that you have a video channel saying the algorithms find videos for viewers, not viewers for videos. Now that leaves a very important question unanswered. How do you get anywhere? How do you get anybody? Because the subscription system, that's what I was talking about. The subscription system isn't even a real subscription system under this current setup. Subscribing to somebody should say, I like this creator and I want to see more of their stuff. But the default option is personalized notifications. So the algorithms will determine whether or not you see anything from that person you sub to, unless you override it and ring the bell and set it to all notifications, which, by the way, is going to hold back YouTubers trying to stream because we've tested this. Go live notifications are tied to all notifications on the bell, unless YouTube has finally fixed that. So you have no chance of anybody knowing when you go live if they haven't hit all notifications on the bell. So the simple act of subscribing to a YouTuber has been made into something overly complicated. Now, here's the dumb part. You subscribe to somebody, and it defaults to personalized notifications. So the algorithms are still dictating whether you ever see anything again from that person. You decide you really like someone's stuff and you watch a lot of their videos, the algorithms will start actually showing their videos on your newsfeed. Then you decide to do some research and you completely throw that off. And you have the screwball thing that happens on YouTube these days where, oh, your sink is leaking. So let me look up on YouTube how to fix a leaky pipe. And then, because you watched that amount of watch time, now all of a sudden your front page on YouTube is getting flooded with videos on how to fix leaky pipes. And you have to wait for that to die down, and then what? By the time the algorithm stops trying to get you to watch 50 bazillion videos about a question that you've already had answered, when was the last time you went and watched that person you subbed to way the heck back when? Yeah. Long enough for the system to think you are no longer interested in their videos. That is the shortcoming of algorithm tube. Right there. You will subscribe to somebody, which will default you to personalized notifications. You will subscribe to somebody, you'll research something later on, and during the time that your feed is flooded with videos about that thing you looked up that one time, you're not watching the videos of that person you subbed to, so the algorithms think that you're no longer interested. So they stop showing you that. You have to manually override it to ever see any of that person's videos ever again. And people wonder why they get less views on YouTube nowadays. It's disgusting. Change the name of the platform already. Call it AlgoTube or something. It's over. The YouTube that we used to know is dead. It's not about you. It's not about you as a creator. It's not even about a form of social media where people can communicate, because imagine if email worked this way. Imagine if you emailed your dad or whatever, and then a robot somewhere between you and your whatever determined whether or not the message got through based on whether or not that person on the other end had been reading your emails a lot recently. Or maybe they got flooded with other stuff. They went through and cleaned up their spam folder, which was time not spent reading your stuff. So they never see your email. I realize there's probably bosses and people in corporate America out there that make people feel like that even without a system like that. That's the world we live in. AlgoTube. Call it what it is. The robots come between you and your ability to be anything on this platform. It's sad. So in light of that, we'll continue telling the stories with the tech videos. And we'll keep playing with mid-rolls versus no mid-rolls. Probably not have the mid-rolls on the binge-watchable stuff right now. And continue squaring off and seeing what we can do. Can I get to a point where, for example, some older side series or whatever get more views? Because there's mid-rolls in them and the system's like, you let us make more money! Woohoo! You know. And it gets even, and then of course, it'd be good to keep an eye on the mid-roll situation to see when YouTube dials back their overly aggressive mid-rolls. But I don't want that to be on the stuff that I want people to be the most passionate about, which is Wacky World and MultimediaJay. So I did say I would turn mid-rolls back on June 1st. It is now June 3rd and nothing has changed. I think we'll do the whole channel minus the stuff that's binge-watchable, Wacky World and MultimediaJay. Put the best experience on what should be the thing that is driving growth in this channel, which isn't, and hasn't been for years, and what people like the most. You know, people talk about, oh, YouTube, it's about people liking your videos, the like-dislike ratio, da-da-da, their engagement, blah, 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 blah. I don't think so. I don't believe any of that. I think it's about some combination of money and algorithms. Because what YouTube doesn't want is people, recreating the channel flipping problem on TV in today's world, where you're spending too much time finding stuff to watch and not enough time watching stuff, where they can serve you ads if mid-rolls are turned on. Ah, pathetic. But it's the world we live in. So that's where we stand when it comes to, YouTube, the tech videos, etc., as well as the streams as well. I don't want to be spending all my time streaming, sitting down for too long. Because at the very same time all of this stuff's been going on, there are things not getting done around this house, and technology I'm not tinkering with, specifically because I'm waiting to make a YouTube video that never comes to fruition, because I'm streaming too much. And so you're going to see, I'm going to talk about This whole thing with being a streamer limits the heck out of you as a content creator. But I want to practice what I preach. So we'll do some things with some of the other stuff. We'll do some things with the tech videos and whatever else I want to make. But like I said, this year is a year to find out where the balance is between videos and streams, and we can also add short videos into the mix as well. I've been tossing around some ideas, actually, of taking my Canon, which is a good B-roll camera now, go out, film nature footage, take it down to a minute, put some Stream Beats ambient music on it, because that's a thing now, and making that a YouTube short series. Have something else go around the algorithms, you know? Or make nature videos in general. It's just the thing where the problems that I have with phantom syllables won't matter as much if I'm swapping out all the audio. So turn it into one giant MP4 or whatever, and there won't be a phantom syllable except maybe at the end of the video because it's all one piece of video. So you have some options available for that too. But I did talk with YouTube about the tech video problem. And I think actually I've gotten some more insights from digging around, looking at where I'm ranking in search engine stuff and some other things in terms of people finding out about my channel. Now, I think I've actually gotten more out of what I've done on this stream than what YouTube's trying to soapbox me about. Because I actually have the YouTube reps were telling me, oh yeah, the CPMs determine how valuable advertisers think your videos are. Yeah. Like, a system as algorithm to death as YouTube can really allow, like, Clorox or something to decide whether or not my individual videos are worth advertising. Yeah, right. YouTube would not have rolled out a huge list of guidelines and stuff for ad friendliness if they weren't trying to do a one-size-fits-all system with ads. Give me a break. So let's go through some subs for the channel that have subbed while I was away. Gina, thank you for the sub. That's right, ESO Blackwood is that. I got to pick that up sometime. Cosmin Gabriel, thank you for the sub. And Christian, thank you for the sub. So here's where we're at with the Blu-ray backlog here as we conclude this stuff. Dollhouse can go back and do a full clear with the with the commentaries. The Stallone thing is done with the Rambo movies. Going to do an encore of all 3 seasons of Lie to Me. Then we'll get to the James Bond marathon, starting with the 1960s James Bond movies, beginning with Dr. No. And I'll be moving forward until I hit the Daniel Craig era, which I already have all the Blu-rays for. So starting with the Sean Connery movies and moving forward all the way to the Pierce Brosnan movies. And I think that's all I really want to do in terms of the Blu-ray backlog. But Blu-ray is so cheap and affordable now that it's secondary format to 4K Blu-ray. So I'm staying 1080p for a while. Why not have some fun with it? Speaking of having some fun, let's wind down and let's call it a morning here. And then get back to work on the tech videos probably this weekend. We'll get some of that going. I can acknowledge that there's going to be different groups of people interested in these videos. I just wish that YouTube didn't create a system where there's no answer to how you grow on YouTube. There is no answer. And they're going to not want to give an answer either. Because knowing YouTube the way I've known them over the years, they don't want to talk about how their system works so that people aren't instantly trying to just do nothing but that. You think like the hot tub meta over on Twitch. Oh, hot tub, instant views, da-da-da. Well, not anymore, thanks to that new category that bumped it off from just chatting. So, haha, so much for that idea. But the minute there is something that is known to get you a lot of viewers, everybody suddenly wants to do that. And I can tell you, Twitch is not where that started. Angry Video Game Nerd starts to find success. Next thing you know, there's a whole crowd of video game reviewers who are inspired by the nerd. One of many, many examples of the way people are with this kind of stuff. So it's understandable that YouTube wants to clam up about this, but if they don't speak up, people will connect the dots themselves. Because their non-interest in talking about stuff doesn't stop people from doing some homework on their own. Maybe one of these years, YouTube will actually learn that lesson. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.